Yeah, welcome back to my channel, man. This video goes out to all the people who have kids. This video goes out to you guys, and I'm really just saying, like, when it comes to your kids, man, you gotta be like an animal, man. Like that animalistic nature, you gotta have it, man. When it comes to protecting your kids, man, making sure your kids are fed, making sure your kids are good, making sure your kids sleep good, eat good, and you got to, man, and if you don't like this message, man, then you probably don't have kids yet. And when you do have kids, you know how this shit feel like, man. Like, you won't just see like a gazelle leaving his kids all around the lion, like the lion won't do nothing to him, or you won't just see a bird like just living its kids everywhere. They'll build nest far in the tree, hidden, so they can keep their youngins up there, all that to protect them from predators, to be honest with y'all, so I really don't understand how the system got us thinking that we can just let our kids stay with anybody, be with anybody, around anybody, because people's energy don't never be good. Some people don't, if somebody doesn't like you, they can't really like your kids, and if they like your kids, that's a whole different person, to be honest with you, because, and not just that, another thing you gotta understand, let's say, I'm gonna give an example like school, a lot of time we send kids to school, we don't really know who their teachers are. We don't really know, like, their teachers, like, their intentions. We don't really know just their intentions. We don't really know, like, their heart towards our kids. We don't really know how they get treated. We even send our kids around other kids who we don't even know, like, how they grow up, this and that, and all that, because, just our society make us, like, want to just be together, live together, and all that shit, to be honest with y'all, But one thing you gotta understand is, you can't just leave your kid at any daycare. It's better if you be the daycare than to just leave them at any daycare. You and your wife, y'all plan out the schedule. One watch the baby now, and then when you go to work, like, she watch the baby, and y'all just do it like that, like, and make sure that, you keep leaving your baby with people that actually care about them and care about you, to be honest with you, so that's because, like, a lot of time, man, people grow up with trauma, man, from a lot of places, man, not just from the parents, but from the people that their parents left them with too, to be honest with y'all. And then a lot of time, nobody ever addresses that, to be honest, so if people feel like just as long as the parents just make sure that their kids ate, their kids was fed, they don't really care about where the kids was spending their time, who they was spending their time with, and all that shit, and not just that, man, like, if you ever seen the chicken, man, like a chicken, once they have hands, whatever, they kids, man, like, they become very aggressive, man, it's like, you can't really, like, touch none of them, bro. It will beat you, it will bite you, bro. You will see a whole other side of a chicken, to be honest. You think it's a chicken, but it will hurt you in that instant, so you gotta learn from all that. You gotta learn from all that shit, man. You gotta learn from you gotta learn from that shit, man, because they didn't, if as a parent, you are put here to be a protector to your kids, to the youngins, to be honest, and yeah, you can protect other people's kids too. I'm not saying you cannot do that, if you have a good heart, so that you can do that. But I'm saying, like, your kids, you are a protector to them, you're supposed to sit there and protect them, so, like, if anything happened in life later on, they're gonna try to blame you, so yeah, so you gotta think about it, man. You stand up and do right for them, you gotta not just do right for them, you gotta yeah, you don't just make sure they eat, sleep, you make sure they safe too, mentally, you know, physically, you know, emotionally and all that, you know, because yeah, they might not abuse your kid physically, they might abuse them emotionally. You don't know that, you know, like emotionally, you don't know that, you know. They might abuse them mentally, you don't know that, you know. So think about it, you know. So you gotta be there, you know, try to protect against all that shit, you know, because you know all that shit is important, you know. And yeah, so you gotta understand that, man, you know. And people, anybody that say they would do something to people who hurt their kids, man, you know, I feel like that's, you know, that's a valid reason, man, you know, because, you know, like I would do the same thing too, you know. I wouldn't mind, like, yeah, I wouldn't mind, you know, hurting the motherfuckers that try to hurt my son, or anybody that's close to me, that's young, that can't protect themselves, that can't defend themselves, for real, you know. So that's just what it is, you know. It is what it is. It's life, man. You know, you wake up, you know, you a parent, and you gotta do what parents do, and that's one thing that most parents needs to be up on trying to do, you know. So yeah, so another thing is, man, you yourself, you gotta make sure that you don't hurt them, you know. Like you yourself, you gotta make sure that you don't hurt them physically, emotionally, and mentally, you know. You yourself, you gotta make sure that, you know, like yeah, you know, I'm not saying you will never do wrong, you know, because people will always do wrong. People do wrong a lot of time, but I'm saying, like, you gotta make sure that you consciously knowing that, man, what I'm doing ain't hurting my son, ain't hurting my daughter, ain't hurting this people, like physically, mentally, and emotionally. Because if you are neglecting them physically, mentally, or emotionally, then you are actually hurting them, you know, and then they grow up hurt, you know. So don't do that too, you know. Just how you don't want nobody hurting them, you don't need to hurt them too, you know. So yeah, so peace, man, positivity, you know, whatever, you know. Like, I don't care if it's negativity you see in this video, I don't care. I'm just saying, this is reality, truth. It is what it is, man. Subscribe to the channel, follow me on TikTok. You know, it is what it is, man. I'm always gonna keep speaking the truth, man, you know. Yeah.